Yo, it's me. It's me. It's
Saizan Z. I love this guy. Saizan Z is making a name for himself.
He's really killing it out there.
Okay, we've got a great one for you because we pissed somebody else off, too. We pissed somebody else off. Now, on the last show, I had a hit bit. Hold on, I want to take a drink first because this next segment could be why you're here today. We've got a good one. Now, the best part about Redbar is all the little trouble it causes. I mean, even this little interaction with the listener, I give people a thrill to see some of this trouble. So, we just watched Joey Diaz. You saw what he said about us. The reaction we got from that Joey Diaz tape that we played yesterday was so big that even Big J is bringing it up on a show. One of the finest stand-ups around, Big J Okerson. And we really anger some people. It's amazing because you think a guy like Joey Diaz, you would think that he's heard it all, right? That this would just roll off his back. We didn't think like a show like ours, especially back then when we were doing it, would ever bother him. You've seen it time and time again. You've seen these guys go crazy, and it makes our job easy because it kind of proves our thesis about the guy. And it's some of the best content ever because you could sit back and laugh, and it's real, and it's connecting. You know, if everything we said on Redbar, if none of it made it out of Redbar, it wouldn't be as exciting. I always said my favorite thing is like a mix. It's got to have a mix. You can't just be an underground show. It's got to be real on the surface as well. Like my dream was always to have like this show, but on daytime television so that the risk is there. This is why I don't like Rumble. This is why I don't like Gab and going to those places. It doesn't mean anything unless other people are going, oh my God, and getting all rattled from it. So you want that part of it. So when this happens here, we get very, very excited. And today might be a new day, a new chapter for a new guy. A guy we introduced you to sort of last week, a guy by the name of Jim Brewer. Jim, welcome to your future. Cheers to Jim Brewer. And you won't believe what's happened here today. Cheers, everybody. Here. To Jim. Here we go. Okay, I guess a beat was supposed to kick in, but I don't know what the hell this is. Okay. Nice try. Nice try. All right, kill that. Jim Brewer saw our segment on him last week. Remember this? Now, we're going to all learn about this together. We're all going to all discover what's going on here together. Jim Brewer, of course, from SNL. Let's pull up some pictures of Jim Brewer for us, Jules. Because you know what? I sent Cameron what happened, and he goes, who's Jim Brewer again? And it's like, wow, you know, my generation, I know Jim Brewer just fine. To me, he's like, you know his name just like you know Will Ferrell or something, or you think maybe you do, but maybe not. Maybe he's not that big. Jim Brewer was Goat Boy on SNL. He's been in movies. Wasn't he in Half Baked? Again, maybe it's an older generation. He was in Dave Chappelle's Half Baked. Jim Brewer, the comedian, and he was on Rogan. And we played a segment of Rogan trying to get him into a car. Remember that? Where Rogan was like, dude, you should get like a 2012 Mustang. Like, that would be sick. And he's like, I kind of like a Hummer. Remember that? And I guess the worst thing that we said about him was that he was like cucked by Joe Rogan, that he's not a true conservative because... You got to hear the last bit. People loved it, too. And it was really some classic Redbar. So we were told, right, Jules? That Joe Rogan, Jim Brewer segment. Because we found the littlest thing. It was a glimmer in Jim Brewer's eyes. It's what we do best. And we found this little interaction that nobody else in the world probably picked out of Joe and Jim Brewer. And you got to see it. I love the tape.
Same.
I had a blast going over Jim Brewer with Joe Rogan, but I can't remember really saying that much bad about him in terms of my huge, right? Like, what's the worst thing I said about him? Well, I'll show you what happened. Let's go to YouTube. And this is why Clippers, you know,
Can't get mad
wait
at him
to hear
all the time.
The story really goes crazy. So let's type in Redbar Jim Brewer. See what pops up. There we go. Redbar Jim Brewer. And this is what we get. Here's the thumbnail. And it's me. It's me showing the screen. And it's got Jim Brewer's face. And it says Cuck. And this was, I love seeing something like this. That's like being in a movie about it.
It's nice to see.
And then it says Jim Brewer gets cucked by Joe Rogan, 24,000 views 5 days ago, posted on the Size on Z channel. Let's just see a little bit about this.
Not going to get a version of a new Ferrari convertible.
Because he starts talking about muscle cars, okay? Remember, Joe loves muscle cars. Okay. If I really wanted a baller car, you know what I would get? And then just like, it's pretty big. I mean, yeah, I don't think anything nasty was said.
I kind of thought we were on Jim Brewer's side in this one. We were all rooting for him to get his Hummer. We were saying...
Oh, wait, I didn't mean to close that. Let's see. History, this one. But yeah, I guess Jim Brewer sees this, and he's, like Joey Diaz, very similar to Joey Diaz. He sees this, and he sees the word cuck. Jim Brewer gets cucked. First of all, he thinks this is my channel. Okay, he starts talking to this channel coming up. He starts talking to this channel as if it's me, because he interacted with this finding of him. Very similar to Joey Diaz. Let me show you this. Here we go. Jim Brewer messages me on Instagram shortly after this clip pops up. Jim Brewer, official Instagram. He says, Jim Brewer here. When you're ready, I will sit next to you anytime you want on your podcast, and we could speak face to face. Tell me the time and the place, and it would be an absolute pleasure. Let me know if you're interested. So we could only assume Jim is furious. He's insisting to see me face to face to talk about... Well, Jim, that's the piece of information we're dying to know. What do you want from me? What do you want to talk about? And the answer to your question is yes. Please, we need you here, and the floor will be yours. And don't tell me anything. Come here to sit here. All expenses paid by yourself. And then we'll be live on the show, and tell me what it is you're here for.
We don't want to know now.
We don't want to know now, but let's set this up. I will email you with my avails for that. And then we will do that because I'm dying to hear.
I can't figure it out.
Why you insist on being in the show. So this gets a little crazier here. Jim demands a face-to-face after seeing this video. And again, I can't think of anything I really said bad about him. We were joking around about how, he and Joe weren't getting along and how Joe kept insisting. It was more making fun of Joe. But I did say he's a beta. He's not a true conservative. And then, of course, this thumbnail, which he thinks is mine, and that's pretty degrading. Cuck. Jim Brewer. He's no cuck. Now, remember, Jim Brewer just got a job on Steven Crowder's new network, along with Brian Callen and Nick DiPaolo. So Jim Brewer is Crowder's newest protege. And now I'm involved with Jim Brewer. So I got to show you. Thank you. So, and please go watch the Jim Brewer clip yourself.
I mean,
and remember,
I don't think he even watched it. Maybe he just went, this guy's calling me.
Well, hold on. There's more. Here is, they're not popping up. Only one of them's popping up here. Okay, there we go. Let's see the first one. Okay, is this the first one here? Look at this. His producer, Annie Cole. You know what? I gotta read these over here.
Fuck. Did you just toss?
Well, there is a cell phone number on there. Sorry, Ernie! Don't call her. His producer reaches out to the Size on Z clip channel, assuming it's me, and says this. I am reaching out from Jim Brewer's Brewerverse podcast. Jim asked me to reach out and see if you'd be interested in doing the podcast, either yours or his. Please let me know if there's any interest. He said he reached out as well. So the agent is contacting the clip channel thinking it's me because they're so stupid and setting up a interview with them. Okay, so he has also not only messaged me, but he said to his agent, get on this after seeing this video. Here's where it gets stupid. Size on Z, the YouTube channel, replies as if they're talking to him. He doesn't reply back, oh no, this is just a clip channel. I'm not Mike. What you want is Mike. He replies with, hey, Annie, Jim hasn't reached out to me. Not sure if this is serious or not. Size on. And then Annie writes back. Oh, well, sorry, Annie. Annie, I guess your phone number's out there. I'm sorry, stupid idiot. You don't be emailing random YouTube channels with your damn phone number. She says, I'm reaching out from Jim Brewer's. Oh, wait, she says, hold on. She says this. Any interest in talking with Jim or sending? Oh, no, that's what he sent me. Okay.
Her email is below that, right?
This one at the bottom?
Just right under that screenshot in the same screenshot you just had.
Oh, okay. She says this. Just spoke with Jim. We're recording our episode today or tomorrow. We're flexible. Would you want to join us? Once done recording, we could give you the video file to use on your end as well. I could also coordinate having him on your podcast afterwards if you'd like. Let me know if you'd like to chat on the phone. And then Size on Z sends this to me, and he says, any interest in talking with Jim Brewer or sending an imposter to be interviewed? And I immediately said, please tell them that's not me. You know. But Jim is very serious, obviously, about talking this out. And I just am so interested into what that could possibly be. So let's pretend he's here. Is he going to sit down and go, so why am I a cuck? Like, what is he going to say to me?
And then what are we supposed to say?
And what am I supposed to say? But it's on. Now, I want to show you something. I started going, okay, when this all happened, he's insane. We got another one. Like, he's fucked. He's one of these guys. So I went to his YouTube channel to see what he does on the podcast that he's asking me to be on, and he's asking to come here, and any day, any time he'll do. He's going to drop everything to speak to me, and it seems pretty urgent. He's messaging. He's having his agent do it, right? So we go to his YouTube channel to check out his content. Now, again, I knew of Jim Brewer from SNL. I knew him as Goat Boy. I knew him in Half Baked, stand-up comic, pretty respected in the comedy world, believe it or not. You know, like if you ask Joe Rogan, oh, Jim Brewer is a killer. Jim Brewer rules. He invited him to the mothership. But then I also knew that he had just turned conservative. He's one of these guys who, like, there was like an incident and then, you know, they had a whole thing, and now they're the conservative celebrity, like a Tim Allen level thing going on, where all of a sudden it's like all these boomers that age are going through that, right? Like Bill Maher even is doing it. He was the biggest lib of them all. All of a sudden,
they just can't wrap their head around
anybody from like 50 to 75 right now is like flipping out, and they hate the woke, they hate the left, and they can't believe that everybody's trans, and this has got to stop, right? This isn't the America they grew up with. So he's one of those. And he works for Steven Crowder now. He's the big Steven Crowder, when he announced his new network, is Jim Brewer's like the big sell. So I got to see what Jim Brewer's doing. And I guess I got to warn you, this video, this is a little scary. We got a good one here. And I'd like to, let's celebrate again before we see this, because this is going to be, when you see this video, you're going to go, oh, this rocks. This is one of these moments in Redbar that you might have to remember. This is a good moment here. Jim Brewer's after us. And this is what he's been up to. Enjoy.
Tuesday night, I'm driving to Austin, and I have scheduled to do a set at Rogan's new Mothership Comedy Club, which we're going to get to. And I'm super stoked, right? So I'm driving, it's raining, the weather isn't great. I stop, go to the bathroom, driving, I get a text, hey man, you're going to be here. I'm just going to get in there the night before, go to bed early, wake up, be fresh, do the podcast, and then boom, go do the set at night, and then I'm back to a...
So he's crazy, right? We've established this. This guy's nuts. So I go, and I was picking up on this on the Rogan show. I go, that's why I brought him up initially. I go, this Jim Brewer is fucking, this ain't, I hope you guys don't think this is some conservative hero coming in, some celeb conservative. This guy's, he's not doing so well. There's something off about Jim Brewer, and what he's about to explain here, listen to this. I'll tell you the story quickly so that you don't have to hang on his every word. Jim Brewer went down to Austin. He was invited by Joe. He did the podcast, and he did the comedy Mothership. He didn't want to perform, though. Joe begged him to perform. He went up and bombed. So he's all in his head. He went up at the comedy Mothership, bombed. He seems to be in a really rough place in his life. And he bombed on Rogan, or he bombed at the Mothership. He's going to explain it all. Then he goes on Rogan and he bombs. Regardless of what anyone said, I watched the tape. He fucking bombed. And I could see it in his eyes. He was in hell on Joe Rogan. He sat there. We saw the car video. He was in hell. It was one of those things where he knows he blew the opportunity. He wasn't being himself. He wasn't feeling good. He wasn't feeling in the mood. He felt disconnected. His eyes were panicked the entire ep. We've seen this many times. It's my favorite. And then he sees me. So he's had this bad weekend, this bad trip. He knows he blew Rogan. He knows he blew the club. He's furious with himself. And then he sees Cuck.
Fuck, man.
And me pointing, turns it on. And we're bringing up all of his deepest, darkest fears. Everything that he thought he was hiding, we saw. And he knew we saw it. This made him go bonkers. Listen to this story here. And you'll see he's not in a good place. And now he's after us. Jim, take it away. Jimmy?
Private show, and then I get to Arizona for 2 nights.
There we go. Let's hear his story.
I get a text from Joe. He's like, hey. He calls like, hey, man, what are you doing? Like, come to the club. Okay, do a set. And I'm not going to lie to you. I wanted to say, I just want to hang out tonight.
So you didn't want to do the set? Hey, I just want to... And you see he's running up and down his deck. Where does he live? He lives in some cockamamie kooky place. Kookier than where we live. We live in the desert. Trump. He lives in a kooky place. And he's been pedestaled right now. Like, I think this is happening too fast for even him. Like, he came out as conservative, it got some traction, and now they expect him to be delivering on the level of a conservative new Russell Brand type guy. And I think he's very nervous about this, because I don't think he really has much else to say about this conservative thing.
Didn't he recently have like a new special or something where he said a bunch of this, classic conservative cringe shit, and then that went viral on Twitter? Like,
yes, and then they thought he's the next voice for us, and they're asking him to be the next voice. But he got made fun of a lot too, so maybe he's tender because of that incident. Not to mention, Jules, he bombs at the Mothership, bombs on Rogan, sees our Cuck video. At the same time, Steven Crowder is being accused of being the worst human being on the planet. And putting his balls on the co-host and sexually exposing
Getting
himself.
balls put on him.
And
right now.
this was his new career path to be on Steven Crowder. That's kind of going to shit. Who's excited about working with Crowder right now?
Damn.
And he's in his backyard, and I think, let's see how he dances around here.
Now, are you allowed to invite someone to your studio for an interview and then the whole time have a security guard with a gun drawn and pointed at them?
Yeah.
The
Oh, by
entire
the way,
time?
that's the deal. There will be two men like this, and a guy
Just
with
to
a
make sure you
scope
don't
in our
make any-
in our rafters. There'll be another guy with a scope, and they will make sure you don't move, and you will also be cuffed during the show like this. Well, Mike, I thought it was really stupid that you. Will you do the show in cuffs? Police cuffs?
These are the rules.
And then at the end, I undo your cuffs. You're free to go, sir.
But they still walk you out with the
Yes,
guns.
how about that? You could do our show. You have to do it in cuffs, sitting in the guest chair like this. And a jail jumpsuit. Sorry. Like a really embarrassing, like ill-fitting, it looks like a hospital gown.
If you'll dress up as a goat, why not?
Yes. If you'll dress up as a goat. So let's watch
Did he
Jim Brewer.
lose a lot of weight? Why is he wearing
He's
this
not doing
giant shirt?
well. I don't know. Or is he giant? He's not doing well, and nobody is paying mind to him not doing well. Here's the fucked up part, Jim. I might be the only one looking out for you.
So true.
Everyone else is using you right now. No one else is pointing out how you look like you're in a really bad place. Nobody's offering help, and you're overwhelmed. You're sitting in fucking Connecticut. Wait, not Connecticut. You're sitting somewhere bad. It's like a weird place, like no one lives in this place.
It's Naples, Florida. Of course.
Naples, Florida, yeah. He moved to Naples, Florida. Nobody moves there.
And he doesn't have the money for a Bentley. He wants
doesn't
to
have the
join the
money,
Bentley Boys of
and-
Naples.
Before you get all fired up here, okay, Goat Boy, consider this as somebody who understands you. Consider this as somebody, because you want the help from somebody right now, right? You've been begging for help. Nobody even sees it because they don't fucking care about you whatsoever. Joe Rogan, you're in and out of his mind like that. And you know that, and you know that Crowder don't care about you, and you know that this doesn't feel right now, does it? Brewer, the Bruniverse, it all feels, something's off, right? You're not really connecting to this and feeling like the joy of this gig right now, right? Something's off, huh? I could help you, Jim. Consider it. Listen to this tape.
He's like, nah, man, come to the club. I should have said that, but
Okay, here. Back it up.
so I get a text from Joe. He's like, hey,
Joe.
calls like, hey man, what are you doing? Like, come to the club. Okay, do a set. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I wanted to say, I just want to hang out tonight. I'm tired. He's like, nah, man, come to the club. I should have said that.
So these are excuses, Was he really tired? Was he this or was he that? Or did he just bomb? Yeah, I almost feel bad picking on this guy. I think you'll see it. When you see this, you feel bad. You go, this is not what he needs right now. But you know what? You did this to yourself. You did this to yourself. There's no one to blame but yourself. Watch this shit.
I was definitely taken out of my element, but you know what? You need that sometimes. You need that. You need that for humbling. I totally got humbled. I got humbled big time.
Got humbled big time at Rogan's
Not
Club.
that I'm, and that's not that I'm like, hey man, okay. Once in a while, you're just humbled. You get hit by a pitch. You're like, I can hit this pitcher. Strike.
I haven't been humbled in years. And I don't, expect to be bombing anytime soon. The day I bomb is the day I literally slit my throat on cam, which is a planned bit that we're going to do where I'm going to have a live suicide on this show to freak you out, give you all trauma. All right, listen to this.
3. Oh my God, never seen a pitch like that.
There's a lot of non in between, too.
It's like wildlife all over.
NAAN.
So I get distracted. So I get in there, and
Talking about the mothership.
first of all, I'm walking in, and right there you see the mothership. I'm in Austin. It's a cool part of town. And I see the mothership. Like, wow. And I guess the door.
I'll tell you how you know a guy is in a bad place. He's booming out. His testosterone's all up and down. When they're complimenting the mothership. You know, how pathetic do you need to be to sit there and praise Rogan for opening up the simplest of clubs? I had a club 8 times better than the mothership. I was 10 years old. With no money. This guy's got the most money out of any comedian that's ever lived. And he redoes a theater, a movie theater, a rundown theater, and everybody's, oh, the mothership, it's just so encouraging. And it's not. You're all forcing this crap. You know, you all hope it would be. There's no soul at the mothership. I've seen every Instagram story since it came out. Place is fucking whack.
Is it true?
Whack.
Is it true that Callan performed at the mothership, but Rogan wouldn't let him record it or post any pics?
I heard that rumor, too. He doesn't want people knowing Callan performed at the mothership, but he had to give it to Callan. This mothership. You know, and every day on Rogan is a man in his 50s for 20 minutes, you know, telling Rogan how amazing he is for opening the mothership, Howie Mandel. And these old men who are saying this, they're not being sincere. That's the problem. They're not being sincere. They're looking, you know, I've never seen anything like it. Rogan is at this point where people are playing him like the lotto. I mean, they are giving him everything they have. They're on their best behavior because they know, man, you get into this Rogan universe, even for 10 minutes, you could be very rich. Tim Dillon, all these people, they see Tim Dillon making $200,000 a month. He's been on Rogan 3 times. They see him, they go, I could do that. Howie Mandel, he's on his fucking knees for Rogan. Jim Brewer, they're all, you guys know what I'm talking about if you're watching the show. Michael Malice, I've never seen the I mean, they sit there on their best behavior.
Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore. It's just an endless loop of praising a man for dusting off an old movie theater in Austin. So that's what Jim's doing now, and I know somebody's in a bad place when they're doing that. I know they're looking for some luck when they're doing that. Right? All right, let's watch the rest of this video.
Someone posted the full version of Melton's reaction thing, so remind me. Don't let me forget that after this. Thank you.
Melton. Okay, let's see what Jim says next about his experience at the mothership, and this gives us some insight as to why he might be lashing out at Mike David.
Man kind of knew me. I didn't know. I said, hey, man, Joe here, and he was expecting me, so I go up there, and you could feel, you know what it is, too? You could feel the vibe in there. You could feel the energy. It had it had...
By the way, the mothership is all guys. Did you know that? No chicks. So if you want to go to the mothership, it's 92% male nerd guys who came with a friend. One friend. There are no chicks at the mothership. I got the paperwork for this. So if you're going out to the mothership, this is an all-guys night out. I hope you know that. The mothership is a men's-only, little nerd, men's-only, booked for 8 months. You got to be online. It's like getting Taylor Swift tickets. It's the same problem. You go to the Taylor Swift tour, it's the ugliest of ugly, nerdiest of nerdy, because those are the only people willing to go through this ticket process. And that's what the mothership is. It's all of Joe Rogan's nerdiest, gayest fans. So the vibe there is a men's 22-year-old nerds men vibe. That's not a good vibe.
Such an awesome energy. There's comedy clubs I've been into, where you just feel, you feel a darkness. I won't say which ones they are.
Why not?
They're in New York. They're in
Sounds
LA.
awesome.
They're all over the place. You walk in, you just feel it.
That's what our club was like.
Darkness. And there's other ones where I felt, light and stuff.
None of the comedians had fun
at
at our
Rogan
club.
Experience. You just feel, you feel that up energy, like something's going down tonight. This is gonna be a cool night. And
what they mean by that is it's going to be 20 nerds praising you in a circle while you stand outside like Todd Glass lapping up compliments. That's what Todd Glass did when he performed at the Redbar Comedy Club. He stood outside and held court for a circle of 20 nerds as they all listened to every word he said and laughed so hard, and he ate it up. And that's what these comedians really love. Imagine being in a circle of all 22-year-old guys, nerds, laughing at you. I've done that. It ain't good. All right, let's hear some more.
you go up these stairs, and he has this green room, and there's a small comedy club, and then the larger one. And from the green room, you go in the larger one, you open up a door, and then you're on the balcony where no one bothers you, and you can watch the show, and you feel that big room. Oh my God, it's loud, it's explosive, it's all different types of people. And people are flying in from everywhere. They're flying in. The
farther they're from, the worse they are. Okay, you understand that concept? You don't want them flying in from everywhere. You want people to go, hey, what do you want to do? Oh, is that place down the street? Let's hit it up. You don't want to, I've planned this out. I saved my savings. My bar mitzvah money has been used for the tickets. You don't want to hang out with those people.
Other countries to go to the mothership. And I'm telling you, it's freaking worth it. It's such a cool experience. Dude, is that a gator? No, that's seaweed. I thought that was a gator. It looked like
she's
a
going
gator.
through like a Tom, what's his name? Our buddy. We love him. Wacky Tom.
Like from Succession?
No, but he does look like Tom from Succession, doesn't he? With this fucking haircut.
Wait, who's
He's got the
Wacky
same
Tom?
body. Tom Green.
Oh, yes,
Tom Green. He's going through a Tom Green.
Where's he been, by the way? Is he still in Ottawa?
Listen, at least Tom Green has some, like Tom Green goes through the same stuff where he acts like a pathetic bitch constantly. But at least Tom Green has some like really organic, autistic talent, and
he has a trustworthy cuteness.
A charm. You got the body of Tom from Succession. You got the head of Tom. And you're
none
sitting
of the
there
money.
pacing. You moved to Naples. You thought, remember when everybody was getting away, moving? You thought Naples was a viable option? That's insane.
It's a retirement community.
At least Tom Green moved to the woods in Canada. He's a really cool house. What's your house like? I mean, this is a cool porch. Maybe your house rules. Do you have a recording studio? Do you have a white piano? Do you have lots of cool gear? Tom Green's videos look really nice. He knows about editing, lenses, camera. Really, he was getting them real sharp shots. You don't know shit about cameras. Your camera is following you because you're using an app where it's tracking your phone in your pocket and the camera is moving.
It's very alarming.
You bought a gimmick camera. You went out and you're like, oh, this camera can track me. Okay. And you probably bothered the kid at Best Buy for 2 hours about it. And now you're testing it out on your porch. Unless you have a cameraman filming this, terribly.
If that's true, this is the most psycho cameraman.
Yeah, you made a
like,
cameraman come out to Naples, Florida to
like
film
an
you.
Olympic skiers.
Talk about you, bomb.
That's always trying to keep you right there.
This is what I don't like. If you're right wing, you cannot look like this. You have to have muscles. You cannot have low T. You can't be beta. You can't be sulking around. And you're not a real conservative. You just weren't getting roles and started blaming the left. And now you're stuck here. You have no outlook. You just hate PC, but you don't do anything not PC. What do you do that's not PC? Say you hate PC? Do something not PC. I dare you.
And we're conservative saying this.
You worked on SNL. Do you renounce SNL? Denounce? Because SNL is a gay faggot hellhole. That's what you were born from. So it seems like you're the problem. Let's hear what he says about his bombing.
Your nose. It's just seaweed.
Oof.
Look at
Terrifying.
So now I'm seeing the first person I see all these comedians, and they're hanging out. You know, I don't know if a lot of comedians could say, but I can honestly say this. I remember, everyone says you remember the struggle. I remember the struggle more than any part of any other part of my journey. The struggle stands out so much more.
And you don't want this guy after you. Like when we were watching this, we started zooming in. We go, ooh, he'll kill us. He might shoot.
I know. I'm terrified of him, by the way.
Like, this is, you don't want this guy after you.
Ever since he sent that message, every time I see a pic of him in my YouTube sub box, I'm like, whew.
He's not doing
don't
well.
kill
I mean,
me.
he's almost a little, dare I say, retarded.
Yes, definitely. He's not all there.
He's not all there.
He'll do
Look at this.
He might do anything.
He put this microphone on for his big presentation. All alone, pinning that on. Yikes, man. All right, let's hear some more.
Because you're living it, you're in it. You don't even know, like you're in it, but you don't even realize what a great time that is. And I would play like 6 clubs in New York City. And there was a camaraderie with certain comedians. You know, everyone's competing against one another. You could tell who didn't like you. You could tell who did like you. And you knew who was really good and who wasn't, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I would do this Boston Comedy Club, the Comedy Cellar, the Comic Strip, Caroline's, and you do all these clubs, and you'd
He's
have
gonna
this
get to it. He'll get
camaraderie
to
with the
something.
comedians that I haven't seen in a long time. Like, you're seeing it on podcasts, but when I walked into the green room of Rogan's place, he's like, it's already the greatest club I've been in. I'm not just saying that. It's already, I'm already in a time capsule, because I walk in and there's the Kill Tony dude, right? And there's the other, I don't know who these other comics are, but you can tell.
But it's awesome,
They're
huh?
not really, I shouldn't say I can tell. Just, I'm assuming they're not far along. And then I see Howie Mandel.
You hear that, Tony?
Like,
Howie Mandel,
and
another
then he's
sneak.
got these 2 screens. You got one screen who's on the big stage, one screen who's on the little stage. And he's like, dude, he's like, this is my place. Isn't this cool? I'm like, yes, this is cool. He's like, you know, you come out of the balcony, check it out. He's like, check out this little room. And they were doing this thing in the little room. I think it's only on Tuesday nights.
Jeremiah's show.
So
Stolen.
they write, you know, say hamburger and hot dogs. And they'll
Stand up on the spot. He's referring, which I thought Jeremiah lived in L.A. Isn't Jeremiah's show Stand Up on the Spot, where they throw out a word and you have to do a bit on it?
What?
And now they're doing that at Rogan's Comedy Club. Paging Jeremiah,
They're
they've
stealing.
stolen your idea and sent you back home to L.A. to live with your creepy wife and your pale white kid. So that's what they want to have Jim Brewer do. They want to do Stand Up on the Spot with him. And he's very nervous about that because I guess his mind isn't sharp enough to riff.
They'll put it in a hat and use the comedian have to pull out the thing, and you're like, hamburgers and hot dogs. And you can choose to come up with a bit or make it look like you create a bit, blah, blah, blah. So then I sit down, then I'm talking to Howie Mandel.
That's
just
bad.
Sitting across from Howie, and Howie Mandel said, this environment at the mothership, he goes, this reminded him of when he was starting. And I think I don't know if he said...
It's not a good thing. When Howie was starting, he was shit. He didn't have any money. You don't want to be reminded of how you started.
But just hanging out and watching, which is what I was doing. You know, I was trying to take everything in. And Howie goes in the small room. And I'm like, I want to watch Howie Mandel. I'm sitting in the back, and I was so inspired because you have a guy like Howie Mandel, and no matter what with comedians, no matter how far we make it in life, we still just want to be funny.
Okay.
This is
making me depressed.
Yeah. I just want to hear a bit more.
He's doing the thing with the hat, and he, in my opinion, he just, he clearly is uncomfortable, which I did later. And
he's uncomfortable. Howie was uncomfortable doing stand-up at the spot. And then Jim says this.
In my opinion, he just, he clearly is uncomfortable, which I did later, and I was uncomfortable.
He was uncomfortable. Uh-oh. Not a lot of comfort going on for Jim Brewer.
The only thing that helped me was there was a first date where the guy he got thrown out. So I was like, oh, great, 10 minutes, I'm done. Oh, that was a fun gig. So I cheated, right?
Oh.
So
he bombed.
And I go in the main room, and all I had was, I'm watching Rogan he's coaching all these people.
You're watching Rogan and you're feeling so inferior? This is what he's talking about. He bombed in the little room. He gets up. He goes to watch Rogan. Joe's killing. He's feeling less than a man.
People, like just in life and as stand-ups and just, it was so awesome.
Check out the Bruniverse every Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern.
So this guy's deranged and he's after us. Isn't that cool? What will happen next with Jim Brewer? Will he take up my invitation to actually come down, or will he be over it by then? So we will be sending Jim our avails tomorrow, and we'll see what he says. Will he be able to make it? Wouldn't that be exciting, Jim Brewer?